Hello, all. Welcome back to my fragrance journey. My name is Ron, and today we're really gonna do what I never say I do. We're gonna keep it quick. Say it again, Ron. We're gonna keep it quick. So, this is impressions, or that's what I'm gonna call it. So, not first impressions, but not much more than that. Each of these things I've worn 1 to 1.5 times, or at least 1 to 1.5 full days, I should say. Um, with one exception. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of give you my thoughts that I as they stand thus far, and then, at some point I'll check in, maybe all together, or maybe in other videos they'll be sprinkled in, and you'll hear how I feel. But basically, yeah, I got 4 fragrances. I know, no buy. Where? Well, listen, a no buy became a sure, I'll buy. It happens. It's fun money. I had fun. So, um, Charlie White. Let's start there. I already have Charlie Blue. I'm not going to go into that one really, but suffice to say, this smells nothing like it. This is just Charlie in name only. And not that I assumed as such, but just in case you are assuming that or wondering that, it is Charlie in name only. So this is, and I'll kind of, with all these, I think I'll kind of give you a little bit of what I get, and then if, I'll kind of touch on the notes. And I'll pull them up in a second. So I sprayed this in the back of my hand. I get melon, which I know is in there. I believe watermelon. I get melon. I get fruit as well, like in addition to that, like a fruitiness. But again, well, I say again, I haven't said it. Firstly, not a distinguishable fruitiness. And even the melon, like I say melon because I think it's watermelon, but it's not just like, I don't get true watermelon. I just get melon fruitiness. And it's an aquatic version of those. Like, the best way I could think of it earlier was if you were making like an infused water. So if you've ever had cucumber water or anything like that, where you've taking the ingredient and you're putting it in water to kind of lightly infuse to where it's just barely of whatever it's supposed to be. So just barely of cucumber, barely of strawberry, whatever you're putting in, or in this case, melon and fruit. Let me pull up those notes because now I'm curious. What fruit was it supposed to be? Peach, watermelon. Okay, well, watermelon, peach. So, yeah, I don't. It's not peach. It's what fruit, but both of those in water. So, or the having steeped or infused into the water. That's what I get. I also get, and I'm not looking at the rest of the notes because I'll talk about those in a second, but now let me just do what's top of mind. So there's also lily of the valley, violet, jasmine, and rose. That's great. Wonderful. Love that for her. Do I get those? No, I do not. I get aquatic fruits. So with that, a little sweetness in that. Nothing gourmand though. And then I get a touch of hairspray. Not like the initial blast of alcohol, but actual hairspray that lasts. Not terribly strong, and I don't necessarily mind it because it isn't very strong, but it's there. And I also like, listen, I was born in the 80s, child of the 90s, and thus my mother is a bit older than me, of course. And listen, I've grown up with a lot of hairspray in my life for a very long time. And not just my mother, but lots of other people too. So I don't know. I wouldn't say it's comforting, but it's just such a like. I'm so used to the scent, even though I don't wear it typically these days. I'm used to the scent to where I think it's just that's why it's not really offensive because I'm just so used to smelling hairspray in my life. So it doesn't bother me, but it's there. And then I get metallic, just metallic, metal, and salt. So there's like an aquatic, and that's the thing. It's not quite salt water though. I shouldn't say that. It's there's like aquatic quality and a salty quality, and the fruits and things that are kind of mixed into the aquatic part. But the salt kind of stands on its own, and so does the metallic quality. And those parts are more the metallicness and the salt. They're more to the skin. They're more skin sense. Everything else does, project a little bit. Um, so I don't know. It's different. I don't hate it. I would definitely go so far as to say I like it, but I definitely don't love it thus far. So we'll see how it develops, especially as I get into summer. But yeah, this is Charlie White by Revlon. If I didn't say that part, by Revlon. And yeah, we'll see how I go. Moving into a similarly themed bottle, clear and a silver top. Lovely. We've got very different price point. This was actually a great price point. I mean, Charlie always is, but this was like $8 or $9 on Amazon. Wonderful. This, hopefully I'm holding it the right way. Yep. If you can see, aside from my little finger. Barenia. And this is by Hermes. This was something I stumbled on quite literally. I was looking up videos by Sally Hughes, who I've talked about before. She's a lovely journalist who does do a fair bit of beauty um, content and things as well. And she was talking about new fragrances. Granted, this was like about 4 months old, 5 months old, but it was new fragrances at the time. And I was just watching, and the first one she talked about was Barenia by Hermes, and she waxed quite poetic. And I trust Sally Hughes. Not that I got it just because she waxed poetic, but I mean, it sounded good, and I trust her. And I know it's fragrance, it's all subjective, so what's that to say? You can trust anybody and you still won't smell the same things as them. So, take that with a huge grain of salt. But I trust the lady, so I figured it was worth the risk, especially because this is a Chypre and she knows her Chypres. I don't. I haven't had too much experience, especially with like classic Chypres, like Mitsuko and things, which are still very much on my to smell list. But yeah, I was intrigued by this one. I haven't pulled up the thing yet. Scroll. Barenia. Yeah, I'm not going to get right into the notes either because I definitely, whatever the heck this says or will say, no. I mean, there's a little bit of truth, but no. Notes are, marketing, and they are in this case. I'm sure of it because I get rose. I get rose beginning, middle, and end. It's a very classy, sophisticated, lovely, gorgeous rose. Very adult, and I'd say that not to mean like old-fashioned or granny type of rose. We'll get into that. It's just very like, this isn't a kid's fragrance. You know what I mean? I mean, it's Hermes. What would you expect? But actually, I think they maybe do a kid's fragrance. But this isn't a kid's fragrance. This is very much an adult rose. It's a rose with some sweetness, not gourmand, not cloying, just enough to call it, I would say, a sweet rose, but just that side of sweet. There's also a greenness. There's kind of a waxy, I keep thinking of like waxy leaves, like not paraffin wax, but just an actual like, almost like a magnolia leaf or something like that, kind of waxy just quality to a leaf. There's that. And then there is a bit of spice, not like peppery, cinnamony, more of like an herbal spice, just a little bit. And I mean just a pinch, and also patchouli. Not overwhelmingly so, and I don't mind patchouli, but I know some people do, and it's not like an intense patchouli. Like it's the kind of, if you don't like patchouli, maybe you should still smell this kind of patchouli because it's really not very far gone. But I can tell you, I love this fragrance so much. It's so damn good. I'm kind of mad I just bought the travel size. I mean, I'm glad I bought the travel size because if I'd hated it, I mean, I got it from Sephora, so if I really bemoaned owning it, I could return it, but I really don't do that if I can help it, because I don't like that they just destroy things. So anyway, luckily I won't have to worry about any of that though because it smells so damn gorgeous. This is so good. I'm gonna stop myself from really like reviewing it already because again I'm only like 1.5 times, but I have to stop myself from wearing it every day. Let's put it that way. It's that damn good. Now, is it absolutely revolutionary? Mm, I don't know about that, but it's damn good. Let me tell you the notes real quick. So top notes is Miracle Berry. I think that's the sweetness. Couldn't tell you. Miracle Berry seems to be, I mean, this seems to be the only fragrance on Fragrantica that lists it. So don't know about that. But there's again, sweetness, so maybe that. There's also in the top bergamot. Then the middle, which I don't get at all, the bergamot. Then in the middle, we've got white ginger lily, which is a white floral and smells a bit of ginger. I'm assuming that's that kind of slightly herbal spiced note I'm getting. Um, then in the base, we have, surprise, surprise, patchouli. Again, this is a Chypre. But again, very soft patchouli, or subdued patchouli, I should say. And then Akigala wood and oak. Wouldn't tell you, couldn't tell you about those, but they're there, sure. So this is Barenia by Hermes. Definitely, if you like a rose moment, get your nose on it. Now, we'll start with what is not just a little display, but is actually a whole fragrance, or the box, the package for a whole fragrance. So this is something I got from Snif. I got this fragrance as well, and these little bits are actually the samples that come with Snif fragrances. If you've never purchased one, they always come with a 2.5 or 3 ml size sample, which you can use to try before you keep. So you'll buy the fragrance, you'll get sent it, it'll be packaged up however it is, because they all seem to vary, even though the bottles are the same style, but the boxes are different. But anyway, I digress. You'll get your samples to go with it, and then you can use those to sample, and if you like it, you keep it, and if you don't, you go about returning it. So, this is in a box. Am I returning it? This is Heal the Way, again by Snif. It's in collaboration with I don't know how she styles herself, but I'm going to say content creator for the sake of ease there. Content creator who her name is Elle, and she does, from what I understand, kind of self-care, I would say positive mindset, but right mindset, treating yourself well, loving yourself, that kind of thing. Healing, hence the name Heal the Way, that kind of a content. And so she partnered with Snif and came out with a fragrance that's supposed to be kind of in that vein. I've got it on the back of which hand now? This one. Got on the back of this hand. It's actually been on for a minute now. And I've worn this one a little bit. I haven't worn this one full on yet. I just sampled it a couple times. I don't know. It's not bad. So I will get into the notes, because on this one I do get the notes it's saying a little bit more, like, distinctly. Not all of them, but some of them. So this is, again, it's Heal the Way. I don't know why I keep saying the name, but I kind of like the name. But it is Vanilla Absolute, Pistachio, Palo Santo, Amber, Musk, and Divana. And that's all just on one line. No distinction on top or bottom or anything. I get pistachio in the beginning. I get pistachio for about 30-ish minutes, and then it's gone. So it's definitely in the opening. Not sweetie, gourmandy pistachio. Doesn't smell edible. It's just like the shells almost. I then get the Palo Santo, which smells a bit more like itself. I can definitely tell the Palo Santo's in it. However, it's like Palo Santo, and then maybe there's another wood, because I just get a woodiness that doesn't smell fully of Palo Santo, if that makes sense. But also maybe it's just how it's blending. And I also get some of the musk, especially now that it's really like dried down. It's really sat for a while. I get the musk, very like skin. The whole thing is very skin scenty. I get that, and the Divana, which is green but very herbal, medicinal, and a hint of mint with it, which isn't as prominent now. That's kind of that minty quality from it, or maybe there is mint in this in general that's just not listed. There's a little touch of mint that kind of comes in the middle. And all those things are lovely things, and I like them all. But somehow this all together, it's kind of Yes, again, I said it's a skin scent, and I don't mind that. I think that can be lovely. But there's something watered down about this, and not like with the Charlie where it's like something suspended in water or the essence of things that have leached into the water. It's like you took all the ingredients for this and you splashed them with water, and now they've kind of like, diminished. It's watered them down, truly. And again, that's not the lightness of the scent doing that. I just feel like, I don't know, they're not as prominent, but I wouldn't say it's blending. They don't seem like they're incredibly like, oh, I just can't tell one thing from the other. They're blended. I still smell them in and of themselves. It just, I don't know. It just seems a little muted in a way that maybe wasn't intentional, or I just didn't expect it. So yeah, I don't know about this one. It's not a bad scent. It's not a great scent. I'm just kind of deciding if I like it. So I will definitely report back. I mean, I will on everything at some point, but I'll definitely make sure to report back on this one as soon as possible because, maybe I'll keep it, maybe I won't. We'll see. And to now become my little display again, we've got what I am keeping, clearly not in a box. This is, I'll just set these little samples down here. This is Rose Era by Snif again. And this is also in collaboration with another content creator person. I'll be honest, I didn't look her up too much because I just didn't think about it. This Alex Elle I had seen more of because somebody else had talked about her when they were talking. So I'd like seen a little bit more, and I saw her Instagram, which was linked. This girl I haven't looked into too much. I think her name's McMichael, something to that effect. I'll definitely have it all listed below. But this is, like the name says, Rose Era, and I'll tell you, I also know what the notes are going to say, and I also get more of what the notes say, but not fully. I kind of get a few things incredibly prominently, and that's it. And that's okay, because what do I get? I get rose, duh, luckily. But I get a soapy rose. So whereas before I mentioned that this is kind of chic, classy, gorgeous, and this, I touched on might be a bit more old-fashioned, it is. It is a soapy rose, a classic soapy rose. It's actually 3 kinds of cleanliness products in my mind because I kind of get them as an amalgamous thing, but I also sometimes in the sillage, which is really quite good, really quite strong. I get sometimes whiffs of one or the other, it seems like. So it's soap, like hand soap, but then fabric softener, and then also shampoo. Like rose versions of all 3 of those. And I get them in different whiffs and sometimes a bit all together. And it's so damn good. It's so, clean, clearly, fresh. It's not an astringent soapiness. It's not a harsh soapiness. I mean, it's very soapy. So if you don't like it, just you're SOL. Don't go near this because it is soapy. But it's kind of in that middle ground because sometimes when we say things are aldehydic, right, and that soapy quality that aldehydes have, it's there, but it's just more of a clean. And then there's the other side where things are really, really astringent and like harsh and sharp. This is in the middle. This is like, again, like this is where I think things like shampoo and fabric softener come in because there's almost a creaminess to the soap, almost like a Dove bar type of soap. And that's what I get from this. I also get a sweetness, not as sweet as this actually, but sweetness for sure. And I'll pull up the notes because there are some fruits in the mix, might be where it's coming from. And then I also get a little hint of moss. I say a hint because I say moss. I could just be letting the notes guide me because it's a bit of a greeny, earthy, just a little hint. But I mean, like, just a sprinkle, if you imagine. Like, and only a little bit, and as it really sits and develops. So what do the notes say? We've got damask rose. We've got rose, strawberry, soap, pear, dewdrop, fabric, ambrette, woody notes, saffron, moss, and orchinox. No distinction again on where they, top, middle, and bottom. Again, great. All those things, lovely, love them. So I'm getting the roses, I'm getting the soap, fabric in the way of fabric softener, yes. or clean laundered fabric, I guess. Um, and then yeah, the rest of it wouldn't know a thing, because again, shampoo, soap, fabric softener, or I guess maybe detergent, whatever, but more fabric softener, because again, even detergent has more of a cleanly, like it's definitely like, I don't know, that. Um, all of those, but rose versions mushed together, and a little hint of sweetness, and a little touch, just a like whisper of earthy, slightly green. Yeah, really damn good. If you like a classic soapy rose, you'd like this. Um, I don't know if it's worth the price, because I did get these on an offer. I got it 25% off, so it was, each one was under $50, like 48. And I love them. They're 30 mils. I think they're great. Or this one's great, at least. Don't know about you yet, but this one's great. And I'm happy to have it because I don't have a soapy rose currently. But if you have one, you might want to smell this first. It might not be absolutely end all be all. But again, I will say, so far, um, projections kind of moderate. Or lasting power is really strong. Projections moderate. Sillage is kind of off the charts. Like the minute I move, it's just a waft of it. And that's okay. I kind of love that effect. So yeah, that is Rose Era by Snif. So that's my 4 fragrances. These are my, not first, but definitely impressions. And I will, again, report back as I try things more, see if anything new develops or just feelings change, especially this one. And yeah, I will let you know. But yeah, that's all I got to say. So we'll wrap it up here, and just thank you again for joining me on my fragrance journey. And I hope you have a good rest of the night or day. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.